This is the space station toolbox. It's got 5 drawers, and it's one of my favorite things on space station. But before we talk about the tools, it's important to talk about how you get here. And Expedition 70 crew members Jasmine and Laurel taught me that just part of being on space station, one must power slide in to get to the toolbox. Mainly because it's fun, it's just because you can. But anyway, I'd quickly go through the toolbox. I have many tools at home. They're spread all over the place in my garage, and they're not quite as compact. The tool density here makes me so happy. The layout makes me so happy. And maybe for home hobbyists, people who like to tinker around in the garage, that maybe this tool density makes you happy as well. But drawer number 1, lots of cool crescent wrenches, standard wrenches here. One of the favorite things I learned about a few years ago was the crow's foot. You can check that out using, it's great for getting behind tight spaces on space station. But lots of cool tools here. Super convenient to get the tools when you need them for a task. In fact, when we're given a procedure on space station, the first thing you get is the list of all the tools you're going to need. And so typically you start a task on space station, you power slide into the toolbox, and you come grab what you need out of these nice little neatly aligned places. The 1/4 inch, the 3/8 inch drive, our torque wrenches, everything you really need to fix a space station. Drawer number 3, there's screwdrivers. I look at this thing most times. I go into drawer number 3 and wonder, when do I get to use this? Like, look at the size of this thing. This is a 2.5 inch. One day, maybe they'll let me use that. Screwdrivers, big torque wrench in there. Our pliers. Actually, this tool here I've seen used a fair bit. We have lots of round electrical connectors on space station, and this is good for getting a good grip when they're on there too tight and you can't quite get them off. The connector pliers tool, so nice. Quantity 2, we have a stack. Everything's nice and neatly kept in here. Drawer number 5, maybe the folks on the ground don't trust us. They took our hammer away. Maybe it's somewhere else on space station. But one big giant wrench has to fit in this box. Anyway, this is your quick tour of the space station toolbox. But one of my crewmates told me before we launched about the beautiful noise that tools make up here when they just something about them being in 0G as they rattle around together. So a common thing for us to do is, let's say we're going to go do a task, we're going to go do a repair task. The procedure will tell us exactly how many tools we're going to need, what we're going to need. You're going to need this crescent wrench, you're going to need this ratchet, these connectors, and you go typically grab a Ziploc bag we have around. And a lot of our Ziploc bags have Velcro on them, so you can stick them places and they'll stay. So you can go to your work site, carry this little Ziploc bag, easily see what tools you have inside, and keep them from floating away on you. But maybe I'll demonstrate what some of those sounds are like. So if I grab a few tools out of here, and you'll note that these have Velcro on them to keep them in place at the work site if we need to as well, which is super nice. But you can already hear some of the noises they make. It's super cool. So grab a couple of those, maybe the 1/4 inch ratchet with the flex head, and a couple sockets. I will note for tool nerds at home, the 10mm is actually installed, but maybe, I'm not sure, I've got the microphone up near my neck. You can hear that noise. It's kind of like a space station wind chime. But that's why we keep things in a Ziploc bag, so they don't go floating off in your work site. That is the space station toolbox.